welcome to this week's rendition of Going Deep, an NFL weekly breakdown, as we will break down Week 6 of the NFL. I am your co-host, Luke Dionian, alongside my other co-host, Dante Esposito. Today we will be looking at 7 of the most anticipated matchups of this Week 6 of NFL football. These matchups include some division rivalries, some highly anticipated rookies, and some top offenses and defenses in the league. Let's get into it. These 7 matchups are all very highly anticipated, and these teams include some of the NFL's top tier. The first game is between 2 of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Dante, what do you think Green Bay will need to do in order to come out of Tampa with a win?
In order for Green Bay to come out with a win, their defense needs to be sharp. As of right now, they're averaging 25 points allowed per game. But what's killing them is their passing yards per game on the defensive side, which is over 247 yards. That is ranked 19th in the NFL. On the offensive side of the ball, they need to continue to stay sharp. Last week I talked about Kansas City's 3-headed monster, but how about Green Bay's? With Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and Devontae Adams. It is no accident on why their offense ranks 2nd in the league in yards per game and 1st in points per game. I've got Green Bay coming out on top, 35-30.
Now, I'm not saying the Bears are a bad team whatsoever, but I do think that Brady and his Bucs were highly disappointed after losing 20-19 on Thursday Night Football last week. Now they face Green Bay, an even tougher team. What Tampa needs back is their second receiver who's a stud, Chris Godwin. As of now, he's questionable, but he's trending in the right direction to play on Sunday. I think this will be a very evenly matched game, but I have the Packers coming out on top by a score of 24-21. The next game we will talk about is Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Tensions are quite high after Mason Rudolph and Myles Garrett got into a scuffle last year, and Myles Garrett hit him in the head with his helmet. So Dante, do you think the Browns will be able to stay hot and beat the also red-hot Steelers?
Well, Luke, after putting up 32 points on the best-ranked defense in the league last week, I think they could stay hot and come out with a win. Big-time players always show up in rivalries, so expect Baker to come out with a chip on his shoulder like he always does and prove to the doubters that he deserved to be that number 1 pick in 2018. And let's not downplay Myles Garrett this season, who has 6 sacks and 3 forced fumbles in 5 games. I've got the Browns winning this one, 32-24.
I agree that Cleveland looks great right now, but they don't look as good as the Steelers do. Big Ben has come back on a mission, and he is certainly doing great. Rookie wide receiver Chase Claypool broke out big last week with 4 touchdowns. The Steelers defense was a bit lackluster last week, giving up 29 points to the Eagles offense. The Browns offense is much better than Philly's offense, so the Steelers defense will really have to step up this week, which I think they will. I think the Steelers will get the job done and improve to an impressive 5-0 after beating the Browns by a score of 39-29. This next matchup is between 2 teams that have had quite a surprise so far this season, the Bears and the Panthers. Dante, what will the Bears have to do to keep their 4-1 record going?
Let me just start off by saying that the Panthers getting Matt Rule from Baylor was huge, and I truly believe that they would not have this success without him. And speaking of coaches, look at Matt Nagy, who has taken the team whose Week 1 quarterback was Mitchell Trubisky and was able to shuffle around to Nick Foles and get them to a 4-1 start. The Panthers' offense is shaped around the run, and the Bears' defense is great against the run, so that will be something interesting to look out for. The keys for me and the Bears is Super Bowl 52 MVP Nick Foles and Allen Robinson, who has 35 receptions for 421 yards this season. If Foles can have a strong game, Allen Robinson should power their offense. I think Foles and Robinson will have great weeks, and the Bears will continue to roll and win 21-17.
The Panthers have been red hot in their last 3 weeks. Their defense looks good, Teddy Bridgewater is starting to get comfortable, but the real surprise is the fact that Mike Davis looks like an absolute stud. Christian McCaffrey will once again most likely not play, but so far that hasn't really been a bad thing for Carolina. Carolina's 0-2 with CMC and 3-0 without him, which is quite interesting and surprising. I don't know if it's more of Carolina being a great running back system, or maybe Mike Davis has kind of been a stud all along and is wildly underrated. I think when CMC comes back, Davis will still see a good portion of work rather than none like last year behind CMC. With that being said, if the Panthers can continue to abuse the run and play good defense, I have them staying hot and beating the Bears 21-9. The next matchup is between the Bengals and the Colts. And just a side note, the Colts reported many positive COVID tests this morning, so this game may be in jeopardy. But Dante, do you think if the game happens, there's really any shot that Burrow and the Bengals can win this game?
My short answer, no. The Bengals don't have it this year despite having Burrow. The Colts have one of the best defenses in the league, and you know they're going to come out hungry after letting up 32 points and losing to the Browns. However, I think this game will be close, and if it happens, I got the Colts winning 16-10.
I think it's coming off as quite a surprise to the entire NFL that the Colts are doing so well this year. The defense looks great, the offensive line looks great, and the offense is getting the job done. I think that the defense will put a lot of pressure on Burrow, and he will struggle like he did last week against Baltimore. Phillip Rivers has been good, but not great. He gets the job done, which I think he will again this week, by a score of 16-13. For this next matchup, many people thought the 49ers would be good, and the Rams would be bad. But it's actually been quite the contrary. Jared Goff is bouncing back nicely, while Jimmy Garoppolo is regressing at an alarming rate. Dante, what will the Rams need to bring to the table to win this winnable game?
Well, with the Niners season plagued with injuries, the Rams just need to play their game and not do anything extra. Aaron Donald will attack Jimmy G, especially with San Francisco's weak O-line. But let's just take this into consideration. This is a primetime game, and also the perfect opportunity for Jimmy G to silence the haters and come out with a strong performance against the Rams. All of the pressure is on Garoppolo, and I think he will prevail and show why he's worthy of being QB1. I've got the 49ers upsetting the Rams 31-26.
If the 49ers want any chance to win this game, they need to get the ball to their two big playmakers, Raheem Mostert and George Kittle, which they struggled to do last week, and it showed when they got demolished by the Dolphins. Last week, Jimmy G was benched for his horrendous first half against the Dolphins and their absolute legion of boom on defense. C.J. Beathard came in and did not do much better. Coach Kyle Shanahan has announced that Jimmy G will start, so if he can bounce back, the Niners may have a shot, but I just don't see a scenario where they could win the way LA is playing right now. I have the Rams winning by a score of 34-17. Now moving on to the first of two Monday night games between the two strongest arms in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Dante, do you think the Chiefs will bounce back after a shocking loss to the Raiders in their own home last week?
This game will be very interesting, as these two teams were both undefeated last week, and both come in with a loss. Also, Le'Veon Bell signing with the Chiefs last night, that should be something tremendous to look out for. But in this game, I've got the Chiefs bouncing back on the road and coming out with a big win. You know Mahomes can't be too pleased with losing last week, so I expect him to put up monster numbers. Final score, 40-30, Kansas City.
From the start of this year, I've been very high on the Bills, and so far, other than last week, they've been great. Josh Allen is in the midst of his breakout season. He has 17 total touchdowns through 5 games. Stephon Diggs has been great. Devin Singletary has gotten the job done, along with the defense. The Chiefs are no doubt their toughest opponent yet, and both of these teams are playing off of bad losses in Week 5. This will come down to which team wants it more, and I think that this will end up being a top 5 game of the season by the end of the year. My score prediction is 35-31, and I give the victory to Mahomes and the Chiefs. The final matchup is between Arizona and Dallas. Let me first say prayers up to Dak Prescott. No matter how much you dislike him or the Cowboys, you have to feel for him. That was a gruesome and horrible injury that he suffered, and it happened right when he was in the process of having a historic season. It will be great to see Dak come back next year, hopefully healthy, and play better than ever. Prayers up to Dak, and get well soon. But as far as the Cardinals, Dante, what will they need to do in order to get this big win in Dallas?
Yeah, let me just say losing Dak is going to be really tough for the Cowboys, but it'll certainly be advantageous for the Cardinals. It'll be important for the Cardinals secondary to step up and play well against a strong receiving core of Dallas. With that being said, I've got a surprise for you. I've got the proven quarterback in Andy Dalton and the Cowboys beating Kyler Murray and the Cards. I think Dalton and Gallup will connect nicely and win with a final score of 28-20.
Dallas is now playing with the Red Rocket under center, Andy Dalton. He is no Dak Prescott, but people can't sleep on him. He has always been a solid quarterback. It just never showed because he always had a lackluster supporting cast in Cincinnati. Now with Dallas, he has all the weapons. The almighty NFC East is still up for grabs, so Dalton and the Cowboys will be on a mission. The Cardinals' defense has been quite shaky, so if Dalton and Zeke Elliott can do well, Dallas will do well. But last week against the Jets, the Cardinals started to come back to form and look good, so I have them winning by a score of 28-24. Well, that's going to do it for our predictions this week. This weekend is shaping up to be quite an exciting weekend of football, so hopefully it doesn't disappoint. Thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Going Deep. Luke and Dante signing off here. I hope you all have an amazing football Sunday.